Hello, my dear audience. Hope all of you are fit and fine. Today, first of all, I am extremely sorry for the interruption in the last video. That was because of some technical issue, and I am extremely sorry for that. Today, I will start from where I left in the last video. In the last video, we saw some problems while defining the concept of the notion of a set. We came to know that when we try to define the term set, the whole process of defining becomes circular. And after that, I tried to motivate you because we know that the notion, the term set is a primitive notion, but there is a hope we can motivate the idea of a primitive notion by considering some examples. Now, today, I will give the definition of a set. But remember that this definition will be intuitive enough. There are some faults in this and flaws which I have not discussed yet, not even in the last video. I would like to mention some of them, such as Russell's paradox and the axiomatization of the set theory. The sole purpose of that was to answer or to solve the Russell's problem. And that is a different topic, axiomatization of set theory. It would take at least a lecture, at least one lecture to talk about that. So my approach will be naive. And this theory, from this perspective, we call this approach naive approach to set theory. And there is another one, and that is axiomatic approach. And I will not go there. That is a different topic. Today, I will be totally naive about the concept of subsets. Let us first of all write down the definition of set, which is usually found in the NCERT of 11th or usually any other text. It is actually the definition which was given by the Cantor, the founder of the set theory himself. Now, I am not going to use the exact words of the Cantor. It will be a kind of translation of that definition of Cantor. So, set. A set is a well defined collection of distinct objects. Okay, this is the definition that we usually found in the textbooks. But remember that this definition is intuitive. This is not very much rigorous. Rigorously speaking, this is not a definition in the real sense of definition. This is what our intuition tells us. And this is just the written version of that intuition. We know whenever we talk of a set, it means that its objects they share some common property. And whenever you talk of set, it means that there is a collection satisfying some given condition. Okay. Now, here are some in this definition. There are some key terms which I think I should elaborate in some detail. The term well defined, this distinct, it has some purpose in this definition. And remember that you cannot understand a definition unless and until you understand its key terms. So let me start from this. Now here, remember once for all that I am assuming that you know what object is. What is object intuitively? I am assuming that you know it from your intuition. Similarly, I am also assuming that you know now what is collection. Okay, so is every collection a set? This is the question. If it were so, then there would be no need of using the word well defined, because there are some collections where we cannot determine whether a given object belongs to that collection or not. So mathematicians, what they do, they confine this definition to some collections. Now, let me write some collections, and I will ask you to determine what is the difference between them. Let me. This is one, and this is suppose that group of collections. I will give you two groups of collections, and you will tell me, and we will see, in fact, that what is it that is different, that distinguishes them. Let me. You may be aware of many sets which are of concern to mathematicians, and we know some of the sets which are fundamental. N is the set of all natural numbers. Okay. Z, set of all integers. These are just notations or symbols to denote some collections, and we have reserved some particular symbols for them, and this is actually a convention. Okay. Set of all living persons. Similarly, I will draw here, classify this. Let us suppose that this is one group of collections. Similarly, I will take second group of collections. Suppose that set of best books on mathematics, on maths. Set of best singers of Kashmir. Similarly, set of renowned mathematicians. Set of best books. Sorry. Set of books on maths. Now, deliberately, I have selected these examples. There is some intention behind it. If you see clearly and keenly, now consider this is my one set of collections, and see, if I take this set and I tell you, and I present you some object, and I say you, is this object a natural number, or in other words, does apple, suppose that I present you an apple, or you present me an apple and tell me, sir, is this apple an object of this set? I will clearly say no, because an apple is not a natural number by definition. Similarly, if I choose, suppose that 1 divided by 2, any object, and I tell you, does this object belong to you, this set? You will say clearly, without ambiguity, that it is not. Similarly, if you see, all these sets have something in common. All these sets have something in common. And what is that something? That something is, for these sets, if someone gives me an object and asks me, does this object belong to your set? I mean, to any of these sets, I will be able to tell him yes or not without ambiguity. I mean to say, these sets have the property that they can accept or reject an object with some reason. They have some reason to accept or to reject a given object. Okay? It means that there is, in these sets, while determining their elements, there is no confusion. There is no ambiguity. We know a set is a collection of objects, and all the objects in that collection have some similarity, have some at least one property in common. It means that a set is determined by that common characteristic. Here, the elements of this set have a common characteristic, a common property, and we call that common property defining property or characteristic property. Here, an object will belong to this set if it qualifies as a natural number. So, the characteristic property for this set is that its elements are natural numbers. Similarly, the characteristic property of all the objects in this set is that they are integers. And there is no disagreement on this defining property of being an integer or being a natural number or being a living human being. Now, on the other hand, if you look at this group of sets, there is some ambiguity. Let me give an example. Set of best books on, suppose, set theory. If you see here, the definition of a best book, there is some flaw. There is some disagreement of what is it that makes a book best. For me, the best book on set theory may be by Paul Halmos, and for some other, the best book may be by Pepys. So, suppose that the best book is, according to me, let us suppose that you ask me, make the list of best books on set theory, and I come up with this list. Suppose that I have this book, this book, this book. Suppose that I come with these books, and these are the names of authors, okay, by these authors. It is possible that some other, if you ask the same question to some other, list all the best books on set theory, it is possible that his choice, his criterion for determining a best book, it could be something else. He could name some other books. He could also name some of the books from this, suppose A, B, but he can also take other books which are not included here. So, it means that there is some kind of confusion while determining the elements of this set, the set of best books. It means that the definition of being a best book varies from person to person. So, what mathematicians did, they came to agreement that we will not allow such collections as sets, where there is ambiguity. Okay, and they excluded such kind of collections from the set of sets or from being a set. It means that these kinds of collections, you cannot think of any kind of collection. So the term well defined here means that if I give you, if you have a set and give you an element, I ask you, does this element belong to the set? If you are able to tell me yes or no, but without ambiguity, yes, it belongs, but there is some reason behind it. You can prove me it. You do not, this element does not belong. There must also be a reason why you are rejecting the object. Only those collections where it is possible to accept without ambiguity or to reject without ambiguity an element to be an element of a given set, we call those collections as sets, or we will call that collection as well defined if there is no confusion, if there is no disagreement about the property specified. Now, well defined means it has a special meaning. There should be no ambiguity while selecting or rejecting an arbitrary object. Okay. I can also rephrase this well-defined term here in other words. And that is, you can think of well-defined here as a rule, a procedure, which allows one to accept a given object either as its element or not as its element. There should be no confusion. And it was something about ambiguity. It means that now, if you see some kind of adjective from English dictionary and is used to specify the property of a set, it means that if that object, if that term has a definite meaning for all the human beings, we have no objection to accept that collection as a set. The only thing here, well defined, means that there should be no confusion in the inclusion or the exclusion of an element. Now, here is another term in this definition, which is distinct